Just wait, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dear learners, welcome you all of you to today's class. Today is a new course. Today is MSO 1. Okay, it's a sociological theory paper. So already the counselors joined. The counselor is Mamita Panda. So no doubt he's a very good academic counselor, and
Voice for him. Presentation
and through this Google Meet. Moreover, I mean you are getting opportunity and what is the objective of the IGNOU? The reaching to the unreached, or I mean reaching to the doorstep of the learners. So this is our main ambition and motto. So now we are not telling to you, the learners, to come to the study center, staying in your home, so you can reach to you to this technology invention. Okay, so IGNOU and distance education believe on technology. So due to this technology, it's a real kind of opportunity to join to all the learners staying in their home also. So with these words, I welcome to Panda ma'am. So now I hand over the session to Panda ma'am. She will start his presentation and she will continue today's class. Welcome you, ma'am.
Uh, Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Continue.
Am I audible to all?
Yeah, it's audible to all, ma'am.
Okay. So here, sir, just want to know one query is there. So actually, it is written the presentation now. So I will click there, and I will start my presentation, right?
Ma'am, it's audible, na? Hello?
Yeah, boy. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your voice is coming. Continue.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir.
ma'am.
सर ये प्रेजेंटेशन जो अपलोड करबा पई जो आपनकर स्लाइड्स आई एम नॉट गेटिंग दैट ऑप्शन एक्चुअली सो इट इज रिटन
What, ma'am?
your presentation slide presentation option sir.
You will go to the present now.
Okay.
Present now. Then you call the enter screen in window. Then you click window.
Okay, okay.
PPT ଦେଖାଉଛି
ଦେଖ ନାଇଁ
ଯାଉନ ଟ୍ୟୁସନ
ତମର
ମମି ଦେ ତୁ ବ୍ରଶ କରନ
କଣ କରୁଛୁ ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ରେ ଦେଖାଉଛି ଯେ ପିପିଟି ଟା
ଆପଣ ପିପିଟି ଖୋଲି ନାହାନ୍ତି କି
ଖୋଲୁଛନ୍ତି ରହିଯାଉ
Yeah. Yeah, is it audible now sir?
Huh? Yeah, audible.
Now it is visible also.
ନା
No, ma'am.
ଖୋଲି ନାହାନ୍ତି
ଆପଣ ଖୋଲନ୍ତୁ
PPT sir open ଅଛି already.
ତାକୁ ୱିଣ୍ଡୋ ସହିତ ଆମେ ୱିଣ୍ଡୋ ସହିତ ସେୟାର କରନ୍ତୁ
ଯେ ଆଗରୁ ପିପିଟିଟା ଖୋଲିକି ରଖିବାକୁ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ବନ୍ଦ କରିକି ଏଥିରେ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ସେଥିରେ ପିପିଟିଟାକୁ ଚୁଜ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ। ପିପିଟିଟା ଆଗରୁ ଖୋଲିକି ରଖିବାକୁ
मैडम पीपीटी टाको खोलंतु
हाँ
तापरे विंडो तापरे प्रेजेंट नाउ खोलंतु तापरे विंडो खोलंतु सो एटा शेयर हे जिवो
ओके पीपीटी तो ऑलरेडी ओपन अच्छी सर
ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟଟା ବନ୍ଦ କରନ୍ତୁ।
बर्तन प्रेजेंट नाउ बंद करी खोलंतु
हाँ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଓପନ ରିଓପନ କରୁଛି
ଆଉ ୱିଣ୍ଡୋ
तापरे विंडो खोलंतु
ଆଗରୁ ପିପିଟି ଖୋଲା ଅଛି ତ?
हाँ नाउ इज इट विजिबल सर
ହଁ
हां देखा हला
ओके okay so shall I start now sir
यस मैम
yeah hello everyone very good morning welcome to the class of sociological theory and as sir has already introduced so I'm Mamita Panda. I'm pursuing PhD from IGNOU and I will start the class right now. Today we will discuss about sociological theory and its concept. As we know, sociology is a very vast, subject in itself, and it's very important to know about sociology and how sociology as a theory, as a subject developed. Okay, it's a long story, like it's a long story of revolution led by French Revolution in 1789 and carrying over through the 19th century. And the Industrial Revolution also played a very important role in the development of sociology. And after this kind of revolution, there are some kind of conflict, distribution in society, which lead to social thinker, to which forced social thinker to think how society could be maintained equilibrium or equal. Everybody should be treated as equal. There will be no tension. There will be no chaos. In between people. So basically, emerging of sociology is led by revolution of French Revolution and Industrial Revolution, and that negative effects of social change. I mean, after this revolution, the negative effects of social change brought by French Revolution manifested in form of chaos and disorder in the society. Similarly, Industrial Revolution brought many social problems and evils such as labor capital dispute and the problem of housing, increasing concern of people, urban areas. After this revolution, what happened? The people from rural area, they started shifting towards urban areas because of work, because of opportunity, because of capital, because of money. So these kind of after this revolution, this chaos and disorder resulted very disharmony, very disturbance in the society. After that, Auguste Comte, who is father of sociology, he started thinking about sociology, study about society. Okay, and as we know, sociology is basically study about society, how society functions, how society maintain the norms, values, harmony among people. So the Auguste Comte, who is a very prominent thinker in sociology, and who called, as we know, that he is father of sociology also. In 19th century, he started working on study about society. So so he called sociology is the queen of all science. Like sociology, the mother of all science. Sociology is the main, where all sociology, social science you can just relate. All social science are related to the sociology. So in that way, he recommended that sociology is the highest of all science. Like as I said, sociology is mother of all science, and it would be he used the methodology that is called positive method. Positive method, that means the scientific method of scientific method of methodology to study about society. And now we can start sociological theory and its context. What is sociology? We know sociology is study about society, and what is society? Society is an organized group of people. They are associated together for their religion, cultural, political, scientific, or patriotic purposes. I mean, the people of a community who lives together for a purpose. They share a very common value, common culture that may be different, but commonly, I mean, broadly, we can say it's common value, common culture. They are, very interrelated with each other, interconnected with each other. So now we'll study about social theory. What is social theory? After a law, just a minute. Huh. After a long revolution led by led by French Revolution in 1789 and carrying over through the 19th century, and the Industrial Revolution were the important factor in the development of sociology. The disturbance of French Revolution was turning point in the history and thinking about society. It is also largely responsible for the development of society. So now we'll study about theory and context. A theory, what do we mean by theory? A theory is a group of linked ideas intent to explain something. A theory provides a framework for explaining observation. Explanation are based on assumption. Theories is basically we can call theory is a set of ideas, set of principles. Okay, theory is a systematic framework where we can input our explanation of observation, what we observe, what we learn from society, what we learn from member of society. We can explain in a systematic or scientific method. That is called theory. Sociological theory are analytical framework or paradigm that are used to study and interpret social phenomena, a tool used by social scientists. Sociological theory is basically a tool that is we can use in study of society, and that is used by social scientists. Social scientists, we can say researcher, we can say them social scientists. And what is the context of theory? The context, we can say, what do we mean by context? Context, the circumstances or situation that forms the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in the term of which it can be fully understood. Next is history of socialism. Socialism is emerged as a reaction of social and economical conditions created by 19th century industrial capitalism, as I said earlier. So, due to that industrial capitalism revolution, so much disturbance created in society, which led to the sociologist to think about socialism, the harmony. Socialism means it's a secular kind of concept. Socialism linked with socialism linked to the rise of a new class of industrial workers who experienced the poverty and degradation of early industrialization. Early socialism offered a radical alternative to capitalism and aimed its removal. Early socialist parties had a tendency, therefore, a advocate of revolution. As the late 19th century approached, there was improvement in working class living conditions and advance in political democracy, leading to the integration of the working class into the society. In place of revolution, socialist parties increasingly adopted legal means to achieve power, hence the split between revolutionary and parliamentary socialists. That means after this revolution, so much chaos was there, and people were mentally disturbed, even psychologically they are disturbed. So some of thinkers, they try to find out the way out, how to maintain peace, how to maintain equilibrium in the society. So some sociologists, they try to study about the problem, and they adopted legal means, legal method to achieve power. so that in society they can maintain to equilibrium or harmony to some extent. Next, how socialism is, highlighted or prominence. Socialism is socialism, an economic and political system based on collective of state ownership of the means of production and distribution, in which there is a government ownership of goods and their production, with an initiative to share work and wealth equally among the member of society. So basically, socialism focuses benefit of society, whereas capitalism seeks to benefit of individual. Socialism, we can say socialism in totality, socialism in whole. Socialism focused about benefit welfare of the societal member. That means people welfare. It's whole, people as a whole. Socialism focused everybody should get equal opportunity, equal distribution of wealth, equal distribution of capital, equal distribution of production, goods, everything. Socialism actually is the well-being of society. And capitalism is different from socialism. Capitalism is opposite to socialism. That is, capitalism is a benefit of individual. Those who have the ownership, those who have the capitalist power, the capitalism power, it is only beneficial towards them only. Then next, the main work who has what was done by actually Karl Marx. Karl Marx is the you must have familiar with this name. The main work is extensively done by Karl Marx, in the context of socialism. He said the main figure who supported socialism among the socialists was Karl Marx. In his political activism, he was different from the armchair sociologist or armchair theorist who were against of socialism. Some thinkers, they were against of socialism. They are supporting capitalism, and some of they are opposite the protesting or opposing to to capitalism. So Karl Marx is one of the thinker who is in favor of socialism. Actually, who he wanted that or the benefit or the capital should be equally distributed among the member of society, among the people. Everyone should get equal opportunity. Everyone should get equal kind of benefit from the state ownership, from the whatever the state have. Everyone should be benefited out of that. So he said. He said they did not feel that socialism was in any way an answer to the solution of ill capitalism. It has been pointed out that Marx socialism was often seen as counterpart or counterpoint from which to develop different theories. Now, due to industrial revolution, there were great movements of people from the rural to urban locals. This phenomena of migrants, partly due to the opening of jobs in urban areas, yet this meant adjusting to the new lifestyle urban areas. Also saw the negative factors entering into the picture, such as pollution, overcrowding, the insufficient of transport system, disparities in income. Due to this revolution, so many people that try to get opportunity, they were trying to shifting urban areas to rural areas. Rural areas to urban areas. What happened in urban areas when so many people came to get job, to get new opportunity? Then the urban area atmosphere or the environment is totally disturbance because of that overcrowded, because of that insufficient transport system, and it created a new problem, that is inequality or disparity. Then we'll discuss about individual versus collectivity. Individual means one, collectivity means group of people. So some thinker, they emphasized individual is very important for the society, and where other thinkers, they were focused about collectivity. They said no, group of people, I mean the large section of people is very much important for the society. So in that context, the thinker wanted to point out that there was more to existence than individual, and this was society itself. So now we'll discuss about Comte and the Enlightenment. Auguste Comte, who is called father of sociology, who coined the word sociology, I mean who coined the subject, sociology as a subject, his contribution for us, who coined the term sociology, and who created the subject, who tried a lot to give the importance sociology as other social science, like physics, chemistry, other subjects were getting importance. Equally, sociology should be get importance. So he tried. His contribution is that now we are now we are learning sociology, and we are seeing sociology as an individual subject. So in 1798 to 1857, he has in that period his contribution was there to sociology. So his pioneering work in sociology in a term coined in a term he coined, and comprised partly an analysis and reaction to the Enlightenment and the French Revolution. Thus come to positive philosophy. That positive philosophy means that scientific philosophy was aimed at what he felt to be a counter to that he considered to be the ill factors of the Enlightenment. Thus, Comte's sociology of social physics, or what he called sociology, was developed as a counter to social anarchy after the French Revolution. He wanted to build sociology after the rigorous approach of science, especially physics. We can mention some other aspects of his work. This includes his observation of social structure and social change. Comte stressed or focused or given importance the interrelatedness of the all component of the society. His main focus was how society is interrelated, how society is interconnected. Finally, the Comte, a sociologist, believed that sociology would ultimately emerge as a dominant force due to its excellence understanding of social process. Social process means how society works, how society functions, how society functions in a smooth manner or in a harmonious manner. Then next is Comte's 3 stages of society. That is very important. 3 stages of society means how society is, revolved one stage by one stage. Like each of society has to go through these 3 stages according to Comte. That is theological stage, in which supernatural power or religious icons are the most important factor imparting on society, and even the world is believed to be product of God. In this stage, as he has divided stages of society like theological, metaphysical, and positivism. The theological stage, he is saying the society has to grow through, the society as a whole should believe that it's a product of God. Society itself is a product of God. God has created the society. In this stage, he's saying. The next stage, in metaphysical stage, he's saying the contribution towards society, that is metaphysical stage. In that stage, he's saying nature is the basic component of society. Nature, we're seeing the mother nature, like all these nature, like everything, whatever is created by natural phenomena. So he's saying it should be society should be more focused towards nature rather than God. In next stage, it is day by day the society is developing towards scientifical manner. First, it was called that society is product of God. Then next, he's saying maybe society is related to nature. Then in third or final stage, he's saying it is positive stage, that is scientific stage. Comes next, it was fundamentally influenced by science and the law that is discovered. Thus, there was no God or nature in this stage so far as explanations are concerned. So the Comte's position in that it is intellectual confusion that leads to a social anarchy. So he's saying in this stage, maybe earlier as he said theological stage, that is God is all around and God is all in all. And next stage, second stage, he's saying the nature is main centric point. Here he's saying maybe no God, no nature. It is the science, it is the law who is more important for the society. According to him, positive stage is dominance only when even the stress of the theological and metaphysical stage has been finally reduced, if not completely eliminated from the society. He's saying maybe both stages, like theological and metaphysical stage, will be there to some extent. We can't completely remove, completely eliminate from the society, but positive state, which is scientific or stage of law, that is most important. We should more concerned about this stage. Hello, am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is it clearly visible?
Yes.
Okay. And clearly
Yes,
understand. You all are getting my point. What I am saying, you all are getting. Hello. I'm not getting any response. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I should. It's up to you. If you people will say which language is very much comfortable for you all, I will use it. May be Hindi, English, or Odia. So, which language would be preferable? So, shall I start?
Both.
Sorry.
Both languages please use, ma'am.
Both means which one? Odia or English, or Hindi or English?
Odia and English.
Okay. So yeah, I'll start. First, I'll explain in English. Then I will explain in Odia also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. जोट भी तुम मान को मतलब बुझिबारे problem थिवो, so please let me know. Okay, we'll have a section for question and answer section. We'll have interaction session in that time. I think last 15 minutes. So first, let me complete my presentation, and then I will take your question. I'll take I'll one by one I will answer. So Odia or English, or Odia or Hindi, I'll mix. I will use mix, kind of language. So now we'll study about Durkheim and Enlightenment. Durkheim was also a prominent sociologist during that period, that is 1858 to 1970. Durkheim believed, unlike Kant, that the Enlightenment was not all negative, but in fact did have some positive aspects, such as emphasis on scientific method. He is also giving importance to scientific method. Durkheim was against anarchy. Anarchy means monopoly. In Odia we can say like ekchatia, or like dominance, and social chaos, and large position of his work deal with studies of social order. what he needs was the need of the hours. Actually, social chaos means social problem. जोटा कि अपन करो माने we can say कि chaos मतलब disharmony, problems. जोटी bargaining जोटा हुए सेटा chaos. And his large section of his studies was deal with social order. Social order means so a proper order, how society should be maintained, how society should be function. So that is called social order. That is social process, or we can say social order. Both concept we can use. So Durkheim was a prolific writer, as he wrote so many classical book, and a main of his book was Rule of Sociological Method, that is focused on social fact. Social fact means the reality, what is happening in real. So, and social facts, it can be both external or internal, he's saying. Social fact means reality can be internal as well as external. He demonstrated the usefulness of this approach in his study of suicide. The main contribution towards sociology is suicide. The main, the classic piece, the classic work is Suicide, in which he showed how social force have an impact on individuals and their actions within the society. Here he is saying suicide is not a natural phenomenon. It's not happening. So people, are not committing suicide naturally. It is the society who force them. He's saying it's due to some situation, due to some problem. It may be personal. It may be social. It may be financial. It may be political. But to some extent, social factors is social factors are related to that society.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody is talking. किसी problem है कि? So then we'll start. Next, what he's saying, what Durkheim is saying. He is saying, according to Durkheim, it was the variation within the social fact which explained different rates of suicide rate in different groups. He examined, it is the research kind of work he has done. How suicide rate is vary from one group to another. In community wise, he studied, and Durkheim he focused in, he said two type of facts which is basically responsible for their suicide, that is material and non-material. Non-material fact, that is bureaucracy law, because that material we can say bureaucracy law, the civil serviceman, it's come under material fact, and non-material, that is social constitution and culture. He's saying maybe because of to some extent material fact, that is that bureaucracy, that is civil, that is law, this kind of facts are responsible for the suicide. And another one is like non-material, that is social constitution, social institution and culture. Like social institutions are like marriage, family, all this kind of fact that is, to some extent they are also responsible for the suicide. And of course the culture we're living, the way of living. Culture means the way of living, where the kind of pattern we are following to survive in society. So, and again, his next important work is division of labor in society. Division of labor, we can say the division means divide of labor. Labor in Odia we can say that parishrama जो अपन करो अच्छी डिविजन ऑफ लेबर जो मतलब केमिति लेबर माने लेबर जो क्लास को केमिति डिवाइड करके कैपिटलिस्ट माने मतलब जो कंपनी ओनर माने जो सरप्लस वैल्यू जो एक्स्ट्रा बेनिफिट पाउचंती, that is division of labor. Here he has given an example, like in a plant or in a factory, each worker performs a specific duty. It boosts the productivity and efficiency if you split up the workers and give them a specific jobs to do, efficiency increase significantly. That means in a company where suppose 10 workers are working, if you will give one work or you will give one task each of 10, you will get more benefit. You will they will produce more work because ଜଣେ ଜଣେ ଯୋଉଠି କାମ କରିବେ 10 ଜଣ କାମକୁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟିଏ କାମକୁ 10 ଜଣ ଲୋକ କରିବେ then it will take time. ଯଦି ସେଇ 10 ଜଣକୁ 10ଟା କାମ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଭାବରେ ଡିଭାଇଡ କରାଯାଏ then that will be more beneficial and that will be more productivity because each of individual will contribute. Here if you will give one task to 10 members, of course you will get you will get output, but it will time taking because everyone will do the same work. In another way, here in division of labor, he is saying you should divide, you should you should prescribe the task, you should give the task each individual so that you will produce more, you will get more benefit, you will get more surplus value. Then again he is saying the kind solution to the problems inherent in the division of labor was to suggest social reform. Social reform means retaliation, like revolution, which could redress imbalance and keep the system going on functioning. He's saying social reform or revolution. It can sometimes if the worker, the working class people will get revolute or they will start revolution. It will help them, and also they will get their benefit. I mean, if suppose one company is getting benefit 10% each year, if that company owner, he will not himself distribute or give the benefit, the bonus to the worker as on his own. He will not give. If the worker will ask, they will protest. They will ask about. They know about their rights and they will protest. Obviously, they will get their benefit. The beneficial person. They will get their bonus. So here he is saying social reform is must. Social reform is very important for functioning of the society, so that the balance will be maintained in the society. So no one will get higher, go higher or get higher that benefit. Equally benefits or the capital will be equally distributed among all. So after that he is saying equally he is he has given importance to the religious part also. His book, The Elementary Forms of Religious Life, Durkheim studied about the primitive society. Primitive society means that in Odia we can say the Adi society, Adi Manavo, primitive society. And as well as he also studied about modern society. He just wanted to know the comparison or the difference between primitive society, how they are following religious ritual, how they are following religious life, as well as the modern people, how they are also following the religious life. And again he is saying religious is a social phenomenon. Social phenomena means it's related to society. Phenomena means something is occurring, something is happening. So Durkheim attributes the development of the religious or religion to the emotional security attained for communal living. He's saying religious is a concept or is a phenomena who binds people or who connect people in the society, or they can live in a harmonial or communal way. The next, Marxian ideology. Karl Marx, who has a great contribution towards sociology as well as political science, every social science he has contributed, and mainly in sociology. His work is basically focused on economic part, like capital part. So he himself is deeply influenced by Hegel. Hegel's philosophy emphasized the dialectic and idealism, of which later was a second concept. Dialectic means it's about conversation, about human's brain who focused on ideas. Dialect stress the great importance and process including those conflicts. Actually, dialect means having conversation. So the dialect methodology means conversation methodology, where people can have a word direct face to face. That is dialect. And what is idealism? Idealism is stressed about ideas. It is not material. It is not realistic. Actually, it is abstract. It is psychology. I mean, in mind, what kind of ideas you have in your mind that can be applied to society. That is idealism. It is not realistic. It is a materialistic. It is not even a materialistic. Even not a dogmatic. It is not a logical actually. We can. I mean, in idea we can think so many aspects. We can think so many things. Also, we can think at a time. So that is why it is not materialistic or realistic. It may be we can say it is an abstract level. For Marx, everything could be reduced to a material based, not to the mind and its process. For Marx, capitalism was the problem which led to alienation, polarization, and revolution. As I said, Marx's work is mainly focused on economy, capital. He is saying that it is the capital, the capitalism who is creating so many problems in society. Because of capitalism, it leading towards alienation. Alienation means banchito kariba, joda durei daba. Alienation, polarization means segregation, means division, and revolution. He's saying it is the main focus is capitalism, who is leading these three factors in society, like alienation, polarization, and revolution. And for Marx, revolution by the proletariat was the answer to this evil. He's saying revolution is the only, when retaliation or opposition is the only way out to deal with capitalism problem. Thus, the surplus value was very basic of exploitation and the root of the capitalist system. The surplus value, which means extra benefit. Now, the company owner or the capitalist who are getting extra benefits out of the exploiting the worker. Workers are working for a long time. They are not getting any benefit, but out of their workers, the contribution that capitalist or the company owner are getting benefited. They are getting surplus value. They are getting extra benefit, but they are not sharing it with workers or like proletariat group. Proletariat means worker. So that is the basic reason for that surplus value is the basic reason who is who is leading capitalist. And Marx was feeling through his studies a mood of hostility and aggression, which Marx felt would lead to the polarization of classes, and the poor exploited proletariat would violently dispossess the capitalist class of their factories and industries, banks, and so on. Marx' idea is always towards conflict. He is saying it is the revolution or that retaliation. Who, if worker can retaliate, worker could go for revolution. That will help for getting the benefit to some extent from the capitalist. So thereafter, a period of social harmony would be seen. He's saying if they will know that the worker class will know their right, they will go for revolution. They will retaliate. They will raise their voice. After that only, they will get their benefit. Otherwise, they will not get their benefit, or they will not get any surplus value from the capitalist section. So he's saying after the revolution, it may be lead to social harmony. Social harmony means the social equality or social peace would begin, and there was a societal community ownership of means of production. There would be an end to exploitation of the have-not and by the have. Here he is saying the same thing. He is saying the revolution or the retaliation can lead to social peace, and due to this revolution, the means of production, that means the work or the labor, they will get benefited. They will get their share or their benefits out of the surplus value. And here he has mentioned two terms, that is have and have not. Have means capitalist, the bourgeois, the owner class, the company owner, that is who have means they have the capital, that is have. And have not, here it is focused as a proletariat or working class, labor. Have means capitalist, or have not means labor class. Then we'll study about Weberian ideology. Weber's idea was that any aspect of social process had several causes that made it operate, and no single complex of factors. That is, he has given again the example of economy. He is saying the economy is the prime concern, the prime focus for social process. And Weber was interested in how the process of rationalization lead to economic development, and economic development to the creation and existence to the large bureaucracy, other social institutions. He is also focusing on bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means the capital society, the capitalist of the society. So Weber is more concerned about them. He pointed out, however, that these decisions are themselves influenced by rules and regulation exist in the society. It is the bureaucracy who controls the power, who controls who controls the power, who controls the authority in the society. Earlier we know about Marxism, as he said the economic is primary factor. Here he is saying, Weber also saying the same thing, economic is the primary factor for the social process. As along with that, he is saying that bureaucracy, that is the higher section, that the powerful section of the society, they are also more important. They also played an important role in the society. So according to him, he is a very rational thinker. Rational means in the scientific or logical thinker. He said that rational, that is formal rationality, that proper scientific way. He's saying that rationality he has divided in three parts, that is traditional rationality, charismatic rationality, and legal rationality. That first one is traditional. That is, traditional means that we can say that paramparika. The traditional authority is accepted, that has traditionally been in the case, and actually generation to generation easily it is passed. We can pass generation to generation. For example, king. If there is a king, then his or her son or any of his or her family member can get that position easily. They can shift. If one that queen or king, after his or her death, his or her son or any of his family member can easily get or obtain that position. There will be no competition. There will be no election. it is automatically shiftable, automatically passed. So they carries, for a long, generation to generation. Then next one is charismatic. Charismatic means that is, some magical. It depends on person's quality. He's saying charismatic can be extraordinary, that can be inspire. Here you can say some, religious guru or some celebrity. They are the charisma, or they are the person who can lead, or who can influence people, by their personality, or by their qualities or extraordinary qualities. For example, celebrities. People are following celebrities blindly, like anything. I mean, so many people are following. For example, Salman Khan. He's an icon. He's, icon of Bollywood. So many people are following him blindly. Now, whatever he's saying, people are following. Whatever he's wearing, people are following his style. People are following his, that video or film. People are watching his film because of his name. That is, we can say, is charismatic, his personality or his qualities. And third one is rational legal authorities. That is, rational legal means it should be the power or the authority made or legitimized by law. It is written or regulation in term of rational legal authority. For example, civil servicemen, bureaucracy, they have the power to control the societal member. They have the power to control society. Authority means to control. So here he has given three kinds of authority: traditional, then charismatic, then rational. These three kinds of people, three sections of people who hold the power, who controls the society. Then next is Spencer's evaluation or evaluation theory. So Spencer is mostly, he's a social thinker. According to him, society, the opinion that society would progress by itself, and that is evolution should not be interfered with. Spencer went to the extent of comparing social institutions with plant and animal. He said he actually focused on organism. Organism means that the living things. So he compared plants and animals, with social institutions. So his theory basically survival of the fittest, where those people could adapt or accept the social and cultural or natural environment would live, while those who could not adapt meet with their end. That means those who can, suppose, one person will go to urban area, rural area to urban areas. So in urban society, you have certain norms, certain lifestyle, certain kind of people are there, certain cultures are there. If somebody will adopt or adjust with this, with that environment or culture or that society, he will be survived. If somebody will not, then he may not be survived. So it's obvious thing. Those who can adjust according to the environment, according to the atmosphere, according to the culture, of course they will survive. And those who can't, of course they will not. So that is, he's saying that survival of the fittest. And another thing he is saying, Spencer also saw society as an organism in which different parts of organs are interconnected and each had a role or function to perform in the overall working of the organism. He's saying, like, we have, like, human body, we have so many parts, so many organs, like hand, like a finger, belly, back, face, teeth, leg. So each of the parts has different role. Nobody can play, anybody's role, or a hand cannot play, role of mouth. So it had already described, or the role has been fixed. So that is in that way he's saying even in society also that there are different institutions or different parts of the society. They are also the role. For example, play a certain role in human's life. The marriage cannot play all kind of role, in human's life. Marriage has a certain or fixed role. Culture has a fixed role. Education has a fixed role for our, for human society. So, like he's saying, all these institutions, they are interconnected. Like, for example, marriage. In marriage is interrelated to culture. In certain society and different society in different religion, definition of marriage is different. The law of marriage, the practice of marriage is different. In Hindu society, there are different law of marriage. In Muslim society, there are certain law of marriage. In Christian society, there are different law of marriage. So, but they are interconnected. So, in culture and in the marriage, they are also interconnected. Like certain culture has certain norms, certain rules, certain laws. So here he is saying, like human body, societies are societal part or institution of society. They are also interconnected, and they help each other to perform or to maintain peace or to function the society, in overall. So, unlike Comte, whose evolutionary theory was in the term of ideas, Spencer had a real material world which he wanted to explain and analyze and interpret. He has also, material world, real material world. Spencer has a real material world, and he wants to explain and analyze and interpret. Then the unit 2, that is concept and theories. As we know, what is concept, and I think you must have an idea about concept, then theory. First, we'll start from word. What is word? A sound or a letter that express a particular meaning. We interact through words and a group of words we call sentence. Okay. So, in word, that is this letter actually, who we use interact or in our day-to-day life, and the bunch of words created a sentence, and that sentence created a meaning. Then we'll discuss about concept. What is concept? Concept means an idea, basic principle. Concept means an idea or basic principle. Social scientists seek to analyze social phenomena to clarify object of the observed world. That means social scientists, they use concept also to analyze social phenomena. That means social, fact, or to clarify or to the observed world. I mean, what they are observing or what they are experiencing in their day-to-day life. For that, they need to use concept. The technical meaning of word commonly understood, and we call them concept actually. The technical words, for example, we can say a concept in interaction lead to the formulation of theory that needs to constant revision. For example, a concept means what is marriage? What do we mean by marriage? Marriage is a concept. Okay, so we the social thinker, they try to identify the problem first. Then they try to they try to define the concept, how marriage happens, what is marriage, how it different from other social institutions, how it is different culture to culture, how individual social human being perception is or perceived about marriage. So then we'll talk about language, a system of communication in which in speech and being used to express their thoughts, ideas, and feelings. As human beings, we use language to describe, analyze, and evaluate our actions and convey our ideas, feelings, and concerns. That means language is a system or a medium of communication. Without language, we can't, we will not be able to understand anything. There will be no interaction, in between people. So language is very important for communication, and through language we will describe, we will analyze, we will evaluate our action, or through language we will speak actually. But whatever coming to our mind, we can express our feelings or our ideas through language. Language is a social product. It is not individual actually. Language is a social product. That means uh, every society or every community has a different language. It is not, language is not personal. Nobody has their own language. It is the society. It is who has fixed the language. Some community have different language. Some, for example, we are, in Odisha we speak in Odia. In Bengal they speak in Bengalis. In North India they speak in Hindi. There is no individual or there is no personal language. In four or five family members, each of family member will speak a different language. No, it is we will speak accordingly, are giving meaning, and the meaning is commonly accepted by others. Thus, social interaction gets facilitated. Like I said, social interaction, I mean interaction between people, interaction between societal members, that happens due to language. Otherwise, it won't. I mean, we cannot. We will not be able to understand. And what is theorem? Theorem is a logical argument which is established on basis of truth. The definition of theorem is an idea that can be shown or proved as truth. For example, of a theorem, for example, theorem, I mean, we can say it's a yellow color and red color. When we mix both the colors, it created orange color. That is truth. That is fact. It's scientifically fact. Scientifically proven. Then we will study or we will discuss about the nature and concepts. When scientists use a word, it gets a technical meaning. It became a concept. In referring to human being, the biologists use the phrase, Homo sapiens or wise men. Homo sapiens means wise men. It's the biology. For example, you can say the biologists they use this term Homo sapiens or wise men to describe the modern man. So, if a person, another example I will give you to make you understand. If a person falls ill or sick, in common language, people say कि he or she got fever. As discoveries get advanced, words like malaria or some other disease indicate the nature of fever. So they also describe which part of the insects have affected the body. Then we understand the nature and causes of disease. If somebody is feeling sick, if you will go to the doctor will say what kind of disease you are having or you are suffering. The exact the disease that is called concept. The exact concept he or she will. next step is find theory. Like I said, if you will go to the doctor, first he will examine, then he will he will examine your body, he will examine your symptoms of your disease, then he will tell you the exact disease you are having or you are suffering. Then next step he will give you some prescription for the tablets or some injection, some medicine he will give. Then only you will get cure. Like this. First, the social scientists, they will examine the problem of society. They will find out the concept. Then they will test it whether the problem is related to whom, like for society, for other aspects of like maybe it may be economical aspect, it may be social aspect, it may be philosophical aspect, it may be political aspect. Accordingly, he or she will find out the solution, and he will develop, and the solution we call the theory, the experience, the research, or the the findings, the final outcome, that is called theory. The process of theory, how the theory can be formed. The identification of the smallest unit and its character size, like I said, first the researcher have to identify the problem. It may be the small unit which is leading to the problem, and its character size, characteristics. What is the symptoms? What are the symptoms he or she will find out. The interaction among these units that lead to the formation of compound and complex in determinate ways. That means after finding out the problem, he will he or she will try to find out whether it is a complex phenomena, or whether it's a simple phenomena, and then the statements that use concept and their interrelation to indicate the nature of the interaction and their results. So then after that, he or she will use the concept, exact the problem, exact the technical word, and what are the interrelations. The problem is related with whom, and then he will find out the result. The next is conceptual abstraction. As we said, a little further explanation of a concept is in order. We do not see a concept actually. Concept is it's basically an abstraction. It's an imagination. That is an abstract. Abstract means imagination. So when we see a person and come to know his or her name, it is described as a proper noun. For example, Puspa may be the name of a teacher, and Shashi the name of a student. Here again, the teacher and students are abstract. Like I said, concepts are abstract. Okay. So when suppose there is this teacher and there is a student, we don't know the name. Only we know somebody is teacher and somebody is student. After getting to know the name actually, then we'll know who is teacher and who is student. So like this, we arrive at extra abstraction by converting proper noun into the common nouns. So like I said, after knowing the name, we come to know that who is teacher or who is a student. So like after knowing the proper noun, the common, after knowing the problem, and then we'll know the conceptual part will frame the theory or the theoretical framework. Then concepts of theorems and natural science. How in the theorems are used in natural science. The definition of theorem is an idea that can be shown as a truth, as I said earlier, An example of theorem is the idea that mixing, as I had already given the example, mixing yellow and red makes orange. In natural science, or say in physics, chemistry, we come across word or concept, their interrelations and their interconnection among concepts. Like concepts are expressing quantities actually, and it lead to the theory or better law. After framing concept, concept can lead to the or concept can help to frame the theory. For an example, we can say, as we know Newton's law of gravity, when an apple, it falls down from the tree, it is a normal occurrence or normal incident or normal happening. But Newton asked the question, why does the apple fall to the ground? And he propounded theory of gravity, not apple alone, but all objects fall towards the ground. Everything goes up, then it comes down. If the earth is round, then why do people on the other side of the earth do not fall away? So that is the concept, actual theory, the law of gravity. That is the concept he developed. Then he try to explain. Here we can sum up the process of theory formation. Theory is an explanation of reoccurring then to, and is a valid explanation universal in space and time. During certain space, certain time, theory is applicable. Theory you can explain. Like we can say the old, for example, theory of Marx's theory of egalitarian. That is no more relevant in current situation. Egalitarian means secular. All people are equal. Everybody will get equal opportunity. But nowadays it is irrelevant. It is not applicable. Since we have hierarchy system, there are these people are there. Then we have middle class. Now we have lower middle class. Then we have poor. So it is not applicable. Everybody is not getting equal opportunity in the society. So there is some hierarchy, some biasness, some discrimination. So that egalitarian society may be applicable in that era, during that era. So that is what he is saying. So every theory is not applicable, for every time. Certain space and time is perfect for that theory to explain. The condition under which the theoretical statement would hold true need to be split out, and that the theory can be modified if subsequent experiments create new situations that have to be considered afresh. Theory is revisable proposition. That is what he is saying. If somebody has developed certain theory, that is if that is not applicable, later on or next generation, that theory can be always replaceable or revisable. You can always revise that. You can add something or you can delete something in that theory. Always it can be revisable. And the interplay between inductive and deductive process constitute the method of science or sciencing. That is, here he is saying the theory is following by inductive and deductive method. Inductive method means specific instance into a general conclusion. That means if here you have to give a certain specific situation, you can from certain specific situation to general situation. And while deductive reasoning moves from the general principle to specific principle. Inductive is specific to general and deductive is general to specific. Then towards social science, I mean here you all have to study towards social science, Durkheim, Weber and beyond. That means all kind of like conflict, functionalist, then phenomenologist, then every thinker has a contribution for social science, and we will know one by one some of them. Mainly, we're talking about Durkheim. Durkheim's study of suicide rate and explanation of their variation is the best example of the theory formation from the existing data. It will helpful to understand his method. Here he has taken, or here the example of suicide rate, how it is, how it varies one community to another. Firstly, Durkheim clarified them and located 3 or 4 types of suicide and their nature. He has studied 3 or 4 types of suicide that later on will discuss details what kind of theory and all. Here just you have to know, since it's a basic, you have to know only the suicide theory, where he has defined 3 or 4 types of suicide, and each type of the existing data available in official record were classified in terms of their distribution and various social categories. This classification needed intelligence and brilliance of the author. That is where he is saying out of 4 theories, each suicide theory has its own characteristics, own nature, and and it varies. It is not equal. It is not similar for all 3 or 4 kind of suicide. Each suicide or nature of suicide has different approach. Then we'll discuss about person, that is Talcott person, and Mutton, that is R.K. Mutton. The full name is R.K. Mutton. He is Talcott person. The full name is Talcott person. So among the 20th century writer, Talcott person is the most significant and for conceptualizing human action. His theory is based on human action and connecting economic, politics, and institution and pattern maintenance. Basically, his theory is based on human action. How people are developing their actions, how people are interacting, how people are living, how people are communicating. That is the main focus of his work. He's also talking about in that context, in action context, he is also relating connecting economic, politics, institution, and pattern maintenance, how society maintains. This exercise required contribution from economic, anthropology, psychology, sociology, and their integration into general theory of action. As person grew mature, he examined economic, politics, he examined economic, politics, and family and professions, especially medicine as subsystem, and in cooperation with valued colleagues looked into specific of the American society. He gradually he started working in the field of economic also, politics also, then family, then profession, then medicines. Here he has worked a lot. And now we will discuss about Mutton, R.K. Mutton. According to Mutton, systemized classical explanation for use as a tools of research modern society, and to an extent modified old concept, giving them a new relevance and variance. He did this for function by pinpointing 3 categories: function, dysfunction, and non-function, and to look for a balance of consequence of 3. Here, Mutton is especially speaking about functioning, how society functions. In that case, in that context, he has divided function as a concept into 3 categories. That is function, dysfunction. Function means which is functioning, dysfunction is which is not functioning, and non-function, that is completely dead. So these three categories are equally important to for observation, that to information with a potential for being understood in the functional perspective. So yeah, here he is using the method of observation to analyze or to understand the functional perspective of society. Then unit 3, sociological theory. As we know, sociological theory is most important for sociologists to describe or to examine, societal problem, societal fact, societal function, everything. So broadly speaking, the discussion on the nature, meaning, and types of sociological theory could be divided into 5 parts. In first part, we shall try to understand the nature and the meaning of the sociological theory during its classical age or period. First part is about classical or old age theories, classical age theorists or old age theorists. Then sociology could well emerge as a separate discipline only due to the great efforts made by prominent scholars in its classical age. As I said, all these social thinkers, they had a great contribution to develop sociology as a different as a separate subject or as an individual subject in social science. Earlier, it was not there. Sociology was not a separate subject or an individual subject. The second part, we shall discuss about the nature and types of contemporary sociological theory. Contemporary sociological theory means the current sociological theory, the modern sociological theory. In fact, these periods reflect on the time when the subject sociology would come out of its classical period. Sorry. Yeah, second part we shall discuss about the nature and types of contemporary sociological theory. In fact, this period reflects to the time when the subject sociology could come out of its classical period, both chronologically as well as conceptually. Sorry. As I said, in this part, we will discuss in current sociological theory how this sociology as a subject developed chronologically, continuously or conceptually. In third part, there is a discussion on the recent advance made in sociological theories. Here we come to see sociology not only emerging as a new discipline but also maturing as a subject. After emerging sociology, there was no, the importance was not given to sociology as other subjects have already achieved. For example, you can say economic, political science, the natural science, physics, chemistry, biology. Earlier, it has already been developed. Later on, sociology came, and that importance of the subject was not that much. In that era, in the classical era, now we can see the importance of sociology. Now we are, lots of thinkers, lots of social scientists are working in the subject of sociology. Then next, in fourth section, we shall discuss to know about theories and perspective in sociology that characterize the subject with some new efforts and rigorous. And here we shall see how several doubts over the nature and types of sociological theory were classified. After developing sociology as an individual subject, then we will discuss the type of sociological theories, how many theories are there, and how they divided, like classical theory, modern theory. So how they gradually how these theories are developed. And in fifth part, we shall examine how certain challenges were put forward there before the sociological theory and how it responded to such problem and challenges. In the final part, we will discuss after developing this theory. It is not very easy task to develop a theory. So there must be some challenges, some problems while creating the theory, while framing the theory. So and how this the social scientists, deal with the challenges, with the problems, in the process of theory making. Okay, here first we'll discuss classical sociological theory. The period of classical sociology belongs to the era when sociology emerged in a new discipline with the one central attraction that the the scientific study of society is possible. As we have discussed, the Count has developed three stages of society. First was first stage where he said theological stage, where he said it is the God who is primary. Then in second stage metaphysical, he said it is nature. uh, from God, it's shifted to nature. Then third, that is positive, that is scientific. It is the science, it is the logic, it is the law, who is more important. So here, that is what I'm trying to make you understand. In the classical theories, in that era, gradually the sociology, as a subject emerged, and in sociology, the theory has been developed, and in that the theory has the more main focus towards the scientific way of study about society. Okay, the logical study, the scientific study about society. The term sociology was coined by Auguste Comte, 1980 to 1857. His work, his duration. He belongs to French country. He is a French sociologist and philosopher. He is also known as father of sociology. Auguste Comte's own contribution to the subject sociology are referred to, and although briefly in the following discussion we'll discuss. Like I said, law of three stages. Having established sociology as a separate and independent discipline, Comte divided sociology into two parts known as social statistics and social dynamics. Former dealing with the question social statistics means some years, some parameters to study society, and social dynamics means society is not static. Society is not constant. It is variable. It is tangible. So here we'll discuss the former dealing with the questions of equilibrium in society, and later with the problems of change in society. Auguste Comte has also referred to hierarchy of science: astronomy, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and sociology. According to him, sociology can't be reduced other sciences, be it mathematics, especially statistics, biology, or political. He is saying sociology is equally important for society or for human being or for human life, as well as other sciences like astronomy, mathematics, physics, chemistry. Each subject has their own value in society. Sociology has its own value, own importance for society. Auguste Comte has also talked about the law of three stages, namely theological, metaphysical, and scientific. According to him, every society passes through these stages. Every society has to experience these three stages. In theological stage, all the explanation concerning the events happening in nature were attributes to God who was supposed to be in full command in situation. That is what we had discussed. It is the God who has the authority, who has the power to control the society or to control the human being. In second state, he is saying metaphysical stage. That stage is it's main concern about nature. It is the nature who is who controls, who exercise the power of exercise the power in society. And the third is the scientific stage, the society, scientific stage of society. The explanations are examined rigorously, and no explanation is considered as a final one. Here we can say only one explanation is perfect for this stage, for this scientific stage. Everyone has their own way. Everyone has their own methodology, own experience to study about society. So all this, for example, for conflict theorists, they always have they always studies about conflict, about the bargain, about the cohesion of the society. Similarly, functionalists, they always studies or their prime focus is about structure and function of society, how society functions. So similarly, you can't say if like conflict sociologist and the functionalist sociologist have the same view, maybe to some extent, not completely. The both sociologists, the both social scientists have their own independent view, have different view about society and the different methodology to study about society and societal problems. So in scientific stage, as we know, it is widely known as positivism, and this can be scientifically verified or which is applicable of logical and mathematical proof. In this stage, Comte is speaking discussing about the scientific. Science is the main prime focus. In scientific method, we will examine this, about the society, about the societal problem. And again, he is saying about historical materialism. What is historical materialism? It is a method which is used by Karl Marx to study about society through historical perspective. History has its own role in society. It's a very important to know. History always played a very vital, very important role in society, because without history, we cannot know about our past, what has already happened, what contribution has already been made. So here he is saying historical materialism is is equally important to know what has already society gone for. So, for example, state, religion, market. We cannot know about for example, religion, how religion emerged, how it is involved in society, how people are following. Earlier how religion was there, how the concept of religion was there, how people are following the rituals, the customs, the tradition, and now in modern society, in contemporary society, how people are following. So how can we know? Only it is history. It will tell or it will describe about the past, about the earlier age. And then he's saying class and class struggle. Class, there were two classes of people. Class means that section of people. People are having same cultural aspect, equal status. A community who is having equal status, sharing, equal culture, equal financial, maybe political, maybe social aspect. That is called class. And there are two class of people, that is bourgeois, who controls the capital and the means of production. Bourgeois means capitalist, the owners, the elite class, the higher class of the society. and the production, and the proletariat provides the labor. Proletariat means the working class, the labor class, who provides their labor. It is the bourgeois who, or it is the capitalist who controls the means of production, and means of production means labor. Who controls the means of production, and proletariat who provides the labor. It is the working class who are working for them, and it is the capitalist who are getting benefited out of this, and who controls the means of production, who controls the capitalism. And there has been the struggle that is known class struggle. In this process, the capitalist who owns the means of production, who owns the capital, who owns the resource, and another class who is labor class, proletariat, who is always there to provide their service or provide their labor to capitalists. And in between, there is a struggle in both classes, in between both classes, both in between capitalist and labor classes. That struggle is called class struggle. The theory of surplus value, the new value created by the workers in excess of their own labor cost, which is appropriated by the capitalist as when products are sold. What is surplus value? Surplus value means extra value, extra benefit. That is called surplus value. So the new value which is created by working class, the labor class, who is working, who is providing their service, who is working for the capitalist. They are actually the medium who is producing the surplus value, but they don't have any ownership. They don't have any share in that surplus value. It is the capitalist always who enjoys, who get benefited in surplus value. Then alienation, the commodities that workers produce through their labor is not their own, but ultimately belong to another and is produced for another. That is what I'm saying. It is the commodity, it is the profit. It is always produced by the worker, and it is always a benefit the capitalist who is always getting benefited out of that. And after producing surplus value or commodities, the workers have no rights over that product. They are they are always they are away from that surplus value. That is called alienation, getting away, vanchita rakhiba jota odia re. Then Weber and ideology. Weber is also equally important. Max Weber, who is speaking about who is speaking about social action also. The social Max Weber continues to speak of social as having two qualities. One, while doing such an action, the actor must be taken account the presence of another account and wholly partially be guided by it. That means while working in an industry, it is equally important that labor class has also given importance. There has also an important role to play to producing the surplus value or to producing the commodity. And he is a very positive kind of thinker, Weber. And then we'll discuss about Parsons' action theory. The Calcutta Person was an important sociologist from USA who had contributed on the theory of social action, discussed about the social action frame of reference and social system, and lately on evolution. He's focused about social action, and he has given certain parameters to examine. That is called AGIL. The AGIL means we will discuss it later in next class. He believes that all the contributions made by various social scientists lead in one direction to arrive, or rather converts at the single notion, what is called social action. Persons also wanted to understand how social culture values are internalized or into the personality system, and later his work the social system. Person said that there are three essential importance components of social action, that is personality system, then another one is social system, and third one is cultural system. Yeah, here in social system he has given importance to AGIL paradigm. Accordingly him, A stands for adoption, G stands for goal attainment, and I stands for integration, and L stands for latency. Latency means the state which is existing but not yet fully developed, that is underdeveloped. Yeah. So the next recent advance in the sociological theory. Recent advance means in the contemporary theory. After Comte like Weber, there are so many other thinkers who has also contributed in this theoretical process. The recent advances that were made in sociology are quite important and meaningful. Besides the work of August Comte, Immanuel Meyer, Radcliffe Brown, or Malinowski, Talcott Person, and Robert K. Merton, which are mainly influenced by and to the large extent remain and concerned with the philosophy of positivism. There are also another stream of thought emerging out during the same period. The development of sociology has witnessed a part from the philosophical background of positivism. Another stream of thought initiated and encouraged by the German sociologists like Max Weber. Here he is saying, Max Weber is saying about subjectivity versus objectivity. He is saying Max Weber is defined sociology as an interpretive understanding of social action. So in social, he is saying it is the interpretation. By understanding the social action, we will get to know about the sociology. He has given most importance to the two parts of that social action, that is subjectivity, and another one is objectivity. What is subjectivity? What is objectivity? Objectivity means how we observe, how we experience things in society. That is reality. Rocks, tree, heat, motion, physical action. That is called objectivity. That is the example of objectivity. It's an empirical observation or logical. And subjectivity is thoughts, feelings. It's a very abstract kind of thing. The thoughts, feelings, emotions, drama, beliefs, desires, these all are included in subjective parts. So then again we will discuss about the paradigm and what is paradigm. In this phase, a single theory or a set of theory emerges dominant, which Kohn calls a paradigm. According to Kohn, science and by extension social science undergoes a process of three phases, that is pre-scientific phase, normal phase, and paradigm shift. Initial, the theory explanation are incomplete and completing with one another. At the same point, one of the theories establishes itself, beginning and bringing the phase of normal science. And he's saying the paradigm has to go through three phases, that is pre-scientific, that is earliest stage or primitive stage, that is normal science like other sciences, other social science, and paradigm shift. And Unit 4, here we will discuss about social construction of reality. Society is a human product, and the man is a social product, and society is an objective reality, socially created nature of social life. Social reality indicates quite clearly that what we are referring to is in fact basically the capacity of society to develop different way of looking at the constitution and the variable aspects of reality. That means social construction of reality means every individual or every community has a different way of looking society, different way of experiencing society. The reality is varies or differ one society to another society. For example, you can say in social construction, we can say I will give you an example. Suppose marriage. Marriage is differ from one society to another society. For tribals, marriage is different. Their customs, their rituals are different. For Hindu, our culture, our practice of marriage system is different. For Christian, that is also completely different. The way of marriage, the pattern of marriage, the practice of marriage. So every society and the reality that means we cannot say that they are wrong or we are right, or we are wrong, they are right. They are seeing their marriage perspective in their own way, in their own societal norms, and we are practicing it their own, our experience or according to our societal norms. So that means social construction of reality means the way of seeing things or the imagination of things. It is different from one aspect or one community to another community. It is differ one community to another. Then what is construction of reality? The social fabric of any society is a fragile. Fragile means it's not a constant. A construct which has to be constantly renewed through rituals and substance or interaction. Thus, reality itself is a fragile, so that any disturbing or conflictual situation lead to a breakdown of order. As such, we discussed how social reality is constructed. Then it becomes clear to us in order to perpetuate its itself. Society takes recourse of the both socialization and education, which continues to control the individual to some extent, and even bring within him or him a sense of responsibility for the perpetuate his reality. That means it is the construction of reality can lead, or it is the socialization process and education, which both can played a very vital role to construct a reality and to bring a sense of responsibility in every individual's life. In every way, that our reality and experience are all constructed by human beings and in community. That means we all are responsible for construction of reality, and at times by a much larger concern than nation state itself. Thus, the interrelationship between knowledge and social context in which it has evolved is an important ingredient, and in understanding how society is able to create and recreate itself over its age. Then, phenomena of social reality. Peter Berger and Lockman, they both are social scientists, feel that the study, the phenomena means an incident or occurring something. The study of phenomena of social reality implies that we use everyday common sense reality as a point of departure. This is what knowledge ultimately comprises, the interaction and the participation in all social life and process. That is what is phenomenon of sociality. That is the interaction and knowledge. Both are creating phenomena of social reality. Thus, it is clear that society has at the every last two sides its existence of ontology. One is subjective and another is objective. As we said, as we discussed earlier, subjective and objective. Then we will discuss about language and social reality. Language is a very important component in social reality, because without language we cannot communicate, and without communication there will be no reality, no social construction of reality. So when we, as long as we communicate, we create our social reality, we construct our realities in our everyday life. Another component is language. All languages have a particular grammar, syntax, and it is the most significant part of important science system of the whole society. It helps to create fund of knowledge, which is continuously growing, expands and contraction as differ words and ideas which enter to the enter into the overall amount of knowledge that I did. That is what it means, that language, which is responsible for creating knowledge. Because without knowledge, you can't read, you can't write. So without writing or reading, how can you gain knowledge? So that is why it is the language who is creating knowledge. And thus it is important out of the language is symbolic and therefore capable of grasping social reality. The language is symbolic. That means, suppose if we will say something, some about some color, white. As we know, it is symbolic. If you will show the white cloth or paper, it is completely white. It is showing, okay, it is white color, the symbol. Suppose we'll say, see the ambulance, that sign or the sound, after hearing that, or after looking that light, that red light color, which we can imagine, or we can say, okay, that may be but that may be that ambulance or some other, like some police van or something. It is the indication, it is the symbol. Then we will see legitimation and social reality. Legitimation means it's law. So the legitimation provides the society with a set of rules and regulations which are taken to be actual and or true meaning of the purpose of ideology of an institution. By being legitimized, the institution and the society are able to provide guidelines to work conditions that members of each institution are supposed to follow. That means it is the law who will decide how to perform, how to behave, how to live in society, societal norms, societal value. Everything is decided by law. Everything is decided by legislation. So in conclusion, we'll see the whole question then is that of the internalization of the social reality, both objective and subjective. And this happens as a dialectic between man and his social structure, between the outer and the inner realities, so that the human is an active participator in social process rather than being simply at the mercy of the societal procedure. That means it is both subjective or objective, which is responsible or which leads to dialect, or which leads to interact. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to be a part of the society, to be a part of social process. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. So any queries, any questions regarding this presentation?
So dear learners, so I think, ma'am has clarified everything about the block 1. So whatever doubts and query you have, you can put forth your question to ma'am. Related whatever things you want to ask, you can ask.
Presentation from the call button. Tab below 14 tab. Shift tab for group Mamita Panda's tab below 15 people in Mamita Panda's below 15 people in the
Learners, is audible to all of you?
Your microphone is on.
Learners, is audible?
Sir.
So you don't have any question? Any doubts you have? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
No students is asking any question.
Okay. So now we will conclude.
So, we'll conclude the session, student. Any questions, students? You at least say something. Learners.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, can you explain Wolverine ideology, sir?
Ma'am,
Hello, ma'am.
Panda ma'am, Panda ma'am.
Liam button. From auto then dash MSO was by Mamita Panda. Mamita Panda has left the meeting.
Okay, chalo, ma'am has left the meeting. Okay, so we will again start class on tomorrow. Okay, so we'll
Yes, sir.
join on same time. Okay.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
हाँ
Sir, मोर enrollment number sir send हेलानी sir fail लिखला.
कोई बात किसी असुविधा नहीं ठीक है
Okay, sir. ठीक. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
हाँ मैम हाँ मैम हाँ पचार चले ठीक अच्छी ओके नेक्स्ट क्लास से देखियो
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
नहीं ठीक अच्छी था सॉरी वाला ओके ठीक अच्छी काले देखियो हाँ मैंने से मनोज फोन करेंगे
Enter. Menu. Stop recording. The group. Enter. Menu. Stop recording. Button. Enter.